Most of us learn to make choices from urgency. Mind sprinting, inbox buzzing, money doesn't grow on trees, there's that urgency. And you're going off someone else's timeline, you know, something that someone else has taught you. But when you're going off your own timeline, the door will open quietly. You might feel a little nervous, a little excited, a little curious because it's something new, but it'll feel good. I am inviting you to take a sip with me as we chat about landing before you move. The body decides before the calendar does. Welcome to my new Body Brew series where we take a sip on something lovely and we just have some casual heart-to-heart chats. Oh, that chai is potent today. I am loving it. So, land before you move. Most of us learn to make choices from urgency. Mind sprinting, inbox buzzing, money doesn't grow on trees. There's that urgency to become hyper independent and move out of the home when you're super young. At least in my culture in Australia, it was like that. Not for my family specifically, but you see the culture everywhere in Australia. And you're going off someone else's timeline, you know, something that someone else has taught you. But when you're going off your own timeline, your full body, yes, it feels like drinking a nice warm tea. You know, that warmth starts to spread through your body, through your chest, through your breath, and it gets longer and your shoulders just kind of relax and drop down and back. When you're going through that pace of life, that's your full body yes, those moments that drive you into eustress, which is short-term stress. It's actually good stress. It's the drive. But if we don't have those moments in between, again, the body decides before the calendar. Landing before you move. Then are we really moving from our own blueprint, our body's true desires? Or are we moving from someone else's timeline, a taught, a learned thing, right? Last week I almost said yes to something that looked perfect on paper. My mind loved it. My body though, tight jaw, shallow breath, a little twist in my gut. That gut thing's always my thing. That's what I always notice. And so I paused. I took that moment. I placed one hand on my heart, one hand on my womb. That's my go-to. And I waited. I created space to land before I moved. And the no was kind. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't fear-based. It wasn't coming from a place of not wanting to put myself out there. It was just a no. No so that I could say yes to something better. You know, it wasn't like a freezing no where it's like, no, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to stay here in my comfort zone and not do anything, not make any move. It was a, no, that's not it. Let's move on to the next thing. What's the next move? You know, it's important to have the two together, you know, landing and moving, stillness and momentum. This is the synergy of the yin and yang. And so when that no landed nicely, softly, and I started to look for new things, okay, well, if it's not this, it's going to be something better. And 2 days later, that next better thing arrived. So let's put this into practice. Landing before you move. Feel yourself in your seat. Exhale longer than you inhale. Start to witness and anchor and drop into the breath. Maybe it looks like taking 4 counts in and 6 counts out. And placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your abdomen. You can decide whether you want this to be upper or lower abdomen, connecting to womb or hara. That's up to you. And just give yourself the space. Let the answer land. No pressure, no force, no rushing. Is this a yes? Is this a no? Or is this a not yet? And notice the evidence in which that answer arrives, the sensations that arrive with that. Is there a warmth or is there a constriction? Is it coming from a place of fear or is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of pushing and urgency or ease and comfort? And then we honor the answer, even if it's inconvenient, and take the next step further that feels good, that feels aligned, truly good. There's no escaping. If something feels nervous, exciting, and you're putting off simply because it's something new and unknown, that doesn't mean it feels bad, right? That's just something new and exciting. There's natural nervousness and natural imposter syndrome coming in, but we can go through that, push through that into the thing that feels good, right? Into the next best thing, the next opportunity. So there is a difference between coming out of that space, out of that pause, and coming out of it feeling like our growth is stunted, like we're freezing or we're not really moving in any direction, and coming up with a yes or no answer and moving in a direction that feels really good. You know, another tip when it comes to looking for the answers when you go within for that full body yes is it won't shout. The yes won't shout and scream and alarm you. It will arrive softly. The door will open quietly and it will be unlocked. It'll be easy. You might feel a little nervous, a little excited, a little curious because it's something new, but it'll feel good. So just wait for it because it's there. And that's it. That's everything I wanted to chat about on our first episode of the Body and Brew series. And I'm curious to know, where in your life do you feel like right now you need to wait for that kind of answer? You know, that landing before you pause. What aspect of your life do you think needs that right now? A little more attention before making the move. You know, it might be something where you feel like you're stuck in a pattern of negativity or some kind of like bad cycle or loop that keeps happening. You know, a pattern that you see is presenting in your life. Maybe you want to work on that. Maybe you want to create space to land, to let the answer and the full body yes come through. Let me know. And I will see you in our next episode of the Body and Brew series.